The following is a solid hemisphere of radius 12 centimeters. Calculate the volume of the hemisphere. Give your answers in terms of pi. Liam, what question do you have? So, what formula do you have in your tables relating to the sphere or the hemisphere?
The volume of a full sphere.
And what's the volume of a full sphere?
4 over 3 pi r cubed.
So the volume of a full sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Okay, let's get the volume of a full sphere first, and then there's half the answer maybe. So it's going to be 4 over 3 multiplied by what? Multiplied by?
12.
12 cubed. Okay, and then what happens? Put that into the calculator, what do we get? You probably got it right. It's a 1,152 pi?
Yeah.
So 1,152 pi centimeters cubed. Guys, keywords. Some of you don't get this. In terms of pi. Do you understand? In terms of pi means in terms of pi. You don't put it in decimals. Okay? Now moving on to the next one. I move on?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next one. Second now. There we go. Maybe that's the next part, right? So, next part. A solid cone of radius, 4, height 12 is cut from the hemisphere. So we had the hemisphere initially. Okay, so that's our hemisphere there. And then inside the hemisphere, we actually had a cone cut from the middle. Okay? So what is the volume of this cone? What's the volume of a cone, Alan?
Third pi r squared h.
Pi r squared h. That gives me a third. Pi r squared is 4 squared and h is 12. Put that into your calculator and what you get, Thomas?
64 pi.
64 pi, handy enough. 64 pi what?
Centimeters.
Cubed. Okay guys, now, key word here, remain in metal. See the word remain in metal. To remain in metal in the hemisphere is melted down and recast into cones of the same dimensions. So, what we could do, and what most people did, was this. What was the volume of your hemisphere before that cone was taken out? It's the answer to part 1. Okay, so 1,152 pi equals the volume of the hemisphere. So the volume of the hemisphere divided by the volume of the cone will tell you how many cones you can make out of the hemisphere. So how many cones can we make out of the hemisphere? So what's 152 pi divided by 64 pi? Yeah.
18.
18. However, we already made one of them at the start. So the question is, how many cones can be formed from the remaining metal? So we've got to take away 1. And that will give me 17 cones. Okay, so just a little bit of trickery in the wording there to make his mistake. You still got 8 out of 10 for 18 though, so which is pretty good. Okay, moving on. Can I move on? Okay. So, moving on. Okay. An ornament is carved from a rectangular block of wood which has a square base and a height of 24 centimeters. The ornament consists of 2 identical. Like guys, the description. Like I was getting a lot of questions in this. Read the description. The ornament consists of 2 identical spheres and 2 identical cubes, as illustrated. The ornament. People kept asking what the ornament is. It's a cube, a sphere, a cube, and a sphere. Everybody got that? Those lines there. Now, what else do we have? The diameter of each sphere is equal to the length of each cube. So look. Call that x. The length of this is x as well. The length of this is x. And the length of this is also x. I got that from this part here in red. Okay? So, what does that mean? How many x's do I have?
4.
4. 4 times the diameter, or 4 times x is 24. What's x then? 6 centimeters. The whole thing is 6 centimeters. Okay? It's not too bad. Find the volume of the ornament. Okay? I'm going to do the volume of the ornament in this section here. That's okay with us? So the volume of the ornament is going to be worked out up here. Okay? Now, how do I find the volume of a cube? Length by width by height. So, cube equals length by width by height. 6 by 6 by 6. And what do you get, David?
216 centimeters cubed.
Okay. What's the volume of a sphere? Volume of a sphere.
43 pi cubed.
3 pi r cubed. Now, Sean, what is the radius of this sphere?
36 pi.
Wrong question, Sean.
Sorry. 3 cubed.
It's 3 cubed because if the diameter is 6, the radius is 3. 4 over 3 pi 3 cubed. And what do you say that was in the end?
36 pi.
36 pi. Now, guys, we have two cubes and we have two spheres. So we multiply them both by 2. 2 multiplied by 216 plus 2 multiplied by 36 pi. Does it say the answer should be in terms of pi?
No.
No, so just put it in decimals. And what do you get when you put that into the calculator? Anybody tell?
658.2 centimeters cubed.
658.2
centimeters cubed.
centimeters cubed. 658.2. How many people got that roughly? Same? Yeah. A couple of you got it. That's pretty good. The rest of you know where you went wrong?
No.
No.
It's not just 6 centimeters. The length of the side of one of the cubes.
Length of the side of one of the cubes is 6, but it's length by width by height, which is 6 by 6 by 6. Because you have to get the volume. The keyword there is.
Wait, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was doing that one there.
Yeah.
Slide it upwards.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, moving on. Guys, remember that number for me? Okay, and down. In making the ornament, what percentage of the original block was carved away? So, if you draw a picture, you had a block like this, and what was the size of this block before we carved into it? It's 24 high, and what about its length and width in the bottom? 6 and 6. What's the volume of this block?
864 centimeters cubed.
So volume of block, as David said, is going to be 6 by 6 by 24, and he got 864 centimeters cubed. Okay, 864 centimeters cubed. Is that right? So, out of this 864, what is the shape of our new ornament, which is the sphere, block, sphere? What's the size of this again? Just to answer the last question you gave to me, David.
658.2.
658.2. What percentage of the original wood is carved away? So how much wood did we carve away? So to answer this question, you need to get the volume. Volume lost, do you understand the volume carved away, over original volume, multiplied by 100 over 1. How much volume did we lose? What's 864 minus 658.2?
205.8.
205, I'll just do 0.8, but you did 2 decimal places, that's grand. And then finally, 205.8 over, is it going to be over 650 or 864? 864, because it's compared to what you started off with. You started off with 864. Then you multiply that by 100 over 1, and what do we get? Anybody?
23.82.
23 point.
82%.
Is that right? For this?
Yeah.
So 23.8?
Yeah, so.
Okay, that's no worries. Cool. Okay, any questions about that one? Any questions at all? You good? Okay. Let's move on. Sorry, will I leave this for a second, will I? Okay, just give me a second. So. Okay guys, so we're on the next question. Volume of a sphere is 36 pi centimeters cubed. Find the radius of this sphere. If you wanted to start off this question, what are the key words? Key words, Mark?
Volume.
Volume?
Of a sphere.
Sphere. What's the volume of a sphere formula? That equals 36 pi. What can you get rid of straight away, Mark? Pi's cancel. Now, I now technically have 4 over 3 pi r cubed. 4 over 3 r cubed equals 36. What do I need to get rid of to get the r on its own?
The 4 over 3.
Gotta get rid of the 4 over 3 first. So it's multiplied by 4 over 3 on the right. What is it when it moves to the on the left? It's multiplied by 4 over 3. You bring it to the right, what happens?
It's divided.
Divide by 4 over 3. What is 36 divided by 4 over 3? 27. Now, can I ask Chris, what does r cubed equals 27 actually mean in English? You were to explain that in English. What does that actually mean? Okay, it means r multiplied by itself 3 times. This means what number, when you multiply it by itself 3 times, gives you 27. So there's a button that does this on the calculator. Can anybody tell me what button does this on the calculator?
Shift, square root.
Shift, square root, and you see that there? That tells you what number. See the 3? That tells you what number, when multiplied 3 times by itself, gives you the number 27. Not the first time you've seen this. Answer is 3. Okay? So this means that r equals 3. Some of you got mixed up with 3r equals 27, r equals 9. That there is wrong. It's not 3r, it's r cubed. Please remember the difference. Okay? Can we move on now? Yeah. Okay. That's r equals 3 right there. Now, when the sphere is fully immersed in a cylinder of water, okay, the level of the water rises. Now, when its level rises, that's its height rising. Do you understand? Now, you can get the volume of the rise in water. The volume of the water rise. What shape is the water rise in? Can everybody see that's a cylinder? It's like a coin, isn't it? A coin is technically a cylinder, so it's a cylinder. Okay? And what does that equal? The volume of the water rise equals what volume? Anybody know? Liam?
The volume of the sphere.
The volume of the sphere. Now guys, what do we do next? What's the formula for a volume of a cylinder? Anybody?
R squared H.
Pi r squared h. Pi is pi. What's r in this case?
3.
Nope. R is the radius of the cylinder, of the sphere. R equals 3 was the answer of the last question. It's not going to be the same answer for this question. It's a different object. And the whole point of the question is to do what? So if you put down 3 at the start, you're already answering your question. Why do anything else? Just put down 3 as the answer. Like, that's not. So you don't know what the radius is. What's the height? Height of the cylinder of water when it rises up?
2.2.
2.25. And then what's the volume of the sphere? 36 pi. Now what happens next?
Divide the 36 by 2.25.
Cross off the pi's. This is multiplied by 2.25 when you bring it on the other side. Divided by 2.25. What's 36 divided by 2.25? 16. R squared equals 16. What does that mean in English, Thomas? R squared equals 16. Why is that actually a question? What number? Yes, Max.
4.
The answer's 4, but I'm asking you, was it actually that in English, not maths language? It's what number, when multiplied by itself, gives you 16. You press the square root button of 16 and you find out what is this number. Square root of 16, and as Max rightly said, it's 4. Oh. 4. Is that right? R equals 4. How do you rate the difficulty of the test, lads, overall? What do we think?
7.
Huh?
7.
7 out of 10. Okay.